Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. We are back with the Championship predictions. I'm joined by Harry. How you doing?
I'm really cold.
You're really cold?
I'm really cold. I've just been playing football.
Let's get into these predictions. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. We'll start with Friday. There's some big games coming and this one's interesting. Huddersfield versus Stoke City. Huddersfield are in 6th. Stoke City have fallen off a little bit. We saw them lose to Coventry. I don't think they actually look very good. And it's weird because a few weeks ago I watched them and I thought they looked quite good. Huddersfield though, they're in the better form out of these two, so you might have to edge them, and they're at home. 2-1 Huddersfield.
I don't even think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be 2-0.
2-0.
Stoke looked really poor against us. I mean, they didn't have a single shot on target in the whole game.
Yeah.
And they had 7 shots. It's not a good look. I think these two teams are in completely different stages of their season. Huddersfield are in fine form and Stoke aren't. They look really bad in the last few weeks. I know they're injury hit, but it's not an excuse when you got the squad that they allegedly supposed to have. 2-0 Huddersfield.
2-0 Huddersfield. Now next up is a very interesting one. Barnsley versus AFC Bournemouth. Put any prediction on this one. This is going to be crazy. Barnsley obviously struggling, aren't they? When did they last win? I think they've won 2 games all season, and we say this every week. They're struggling, they don't look good, and I feel bad for the Barnsley fans, but I suppose all teams have a season like this at some point. AFC Bournemouth, obviously in the top 2 race, but they haven't been doing too well in the last couple of games. This is the kind of game they need. They need to win this. If they lose this, then real alarm bells will go off. But like I say, this will be anything to Bournemouth. I'm sorry, Barnsley. 4-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother talking about Barnsley. We know our thoughts. But Bournemouth, I'm only going to go for 2-0 purely because of just how poor they've been in recent weeks. It feels to me like a game similar to Peterborough, where we were on a bad run and we had a team battling relegation away. We just need to pick up some points. I think Bournemouth will be industrious about how they do it. I just don't think they'll be particularly brilliant. So, comfortable enough, but only 2-0.
Next up, it's going to rain goals at Craven Cottage. Fulham versus Blackpool. Blackpool are an interesting team. They seem to give some of the good teams a real run for their money, but I think defensively they're going to struggle to keep Fulham out. Fulham have just been scoring so many goals. I know Blackpool did beat them in the reverse fixture, but Fulham are a different kettle of fish at the moment. They're scoring so many goals. I'm going to go for an entertaining 5-2 to Fulham.
Yeah, this could be anything. You could say 11-0 and it wouldn't be a ridiculous suggestion at this point. I think it would be 3-1 to Fulham. I think that you can't keep scoring obscene numbers of goals in every single game the whole season. And Blackpool are a not to be underestimated opposition either. I don't think they'll win it. I don't think they'll get any points, but I think they'll give Fulham a good run and end up coming just short. 3-1.
3-1. Hard to call the next one. Hull City versus Swansea City. Hull City, a lot going on at the moment. New owners, change of manager, and they've obviously won their last 2 games. But will the off-the-field issues now send them on a losing run? I don't know. I mean, it's a good opportunity. They're at home. But Swansea have been in decent form. They obviously won at the weekend and then picked up a 0-0 at QPR. I think they played quite well in that game. 1-1.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think it's harsh on McCann. Obviously, no owner's come in, wanted his own man in. But it happens, it's football. I do think it's harsh on the guy. It might unsettle Hull a little bit because they actually had a decent season up to now. They had something like a 7 or 8 game match where they didn't run where they didn't score, but they got over that and they've done okay for a promoted side. I think this will be 1-1, like you say. I think a lot of these players, when you do get a change of manager, will want to play out their skins to keep themselves in the squad. And Swansea, they're neither here nor there at times. So it should be a fairly entertaining game, I would have thought, but I don't see a winner. Okay,
interesting. Now, the next one's even harder to call. Luton Town versus Blackburn. And I know a lot of you will think, well, Blackburn they're in 2nd place, they're going to win. But it's not that straightforward. Going away to Luton isn't easy for anyone. And Blackburn, although they did beat Middlesbrough, they lost to Hull before that. So are we about to see some inconsistent form? If they win this, then it is a real statement. I don't think they will. But I don't think Luton will. 1-1 again.
No, I think Luton will. I think they are the sort of team where they can surprise you and pull a performance really out of the hat. Out of the hat. The Hatters. I didn't even mean that. Sorry, that's
George.
That's shocking. I'm sorry, but they can. You know, it's true that's what they've been known for doing in the last few seasons in different divisions. So I think they can edge this one 2-1, purely because they can.
Yeah,
really.
Interesting. Next up, we go to the Riverside. Our team, Coventry, go away to Middlesbrough. Now, this is a big test. It's 8th versus 9th. Two teams that still believe they can make the playoffs, but it's hard. Coventry City have been improving over the last 3 games, if you look at it, 2 wins from 3. And you have to go back a long way to see our last away defeat, actually, at Preston in October. So I fancy Coventry to get something, but because it's Middlesbrough and they are in very good form, it might be asking a lot to win this. So I'll say 1-1 again.
They just do look so good at the minute, don't they, Middlesbrough? It was a good win for us yesterday, 2 days ago, as you see this. It's a tough one to call, actually. I think it might be 0-0.
Okay.
I just feel like the two sides will have enough to cancel each other out, perhaps.
Yeah.
Really not free scoring at the minute. Middlesbrough don't score obscene numbers of goals either. Just two fairly solid teams, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I'd love us to win it. I'd love us to snatch it 1-0. I just think it'll be 0-0. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I just think it'll be a tale of defences coming out on top.
Yeah, it's a hard game. Both would take big pleasure in winning that against the playoff rival. Millwall, West Brom next. And I don't like to act on the spur of the moment, but after watching West Brom tonight, at the time of recording this, lose to Preston, I've got worries that West Brom are going to fall outside of the playoffs. I think their fans have said for a long time now they're not keen on the manager. Okay, they've got a good defence, but do they look convincing? I don't think so. Millwall, okay, mid-table team, but this is where West Brom might become unstuck again. Millwall 2-1.
Yeah, but it's not a spur of the moment thing. I mean, West Brom have looked. There's been alarm bells for a long time, actually. Quite early on into their season, they were sort of about 10, 12 games in. People are asking questions about the manager and whether he's really up for it. I think the answer is no. I think they need to change him sooner rather than later, especially if they lose this game coming up. Yes, they've got the best defence in the league, as you point out, but that on its own don't win your games. When your top goal scorer's only got 10 goals and then your second top goal scorer's only got 6, that's not a good place to be. I think they'll lose again. I think Millwall will do them 2-1.
2-1. Interesting. Next up, we're watching the other team we watched tonight, which is Preston North End. They're at home to Bristol City. Now, Bristol obviously just lost to Luton. Bristol are a funny team. They do seem to pull a good win out of the bag every now and then, but they're not convincing enough for me to finish in the top half. But they are good on their day. But I think this is a tough game for Bristol City, going away to Preston, who look like a new team under Ryan Lowe. And if they win this, then it is seriously becoming a playoff charge. I fancy Preston. I don't think it'll be easy, but 1-0.
The Robins can be absolute awful. I was going to swear then, but you cut me out. The Robins have been absolutely terrible at a lot of points this season, but they've also had some games where they've been really, really good. And I don't understand it. I don't know how you can go from so hot to so cold. Millwall steady the ship. They had a bit of a slow start, but they seem to have had some decent results of late. This is a mid-table battle, I think. 1-1. I just think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think so.
It depends on which Bristol City team turns up for me.
Yeah.
It can either be a really good game and they go and batter it, or they can just be awful and lose it. But I think it'll be a middle of the park performance.
Yeah, interesting. Next up we go to Loftus Road, Queen's Park Rangers versus Reading.
No, we're not. It's the Kyan Prince Foundation. You've been doing this all season. It's the Kyan Prince Foundation.
It's Loftus Road. No one calls it that. QPR versus Reading. Interesting. QPR looking pretty good. Only got a 0-0 against Swansea, but it does stretch their unbeaten run. Reading, I don't know. I just don't know about Reading. They really need to get a win at some point, but is this going to be the game they do it? Probably not. It's not an easy game for Reading. They're just dangling, aren't they? And if they don't get a move on soon, they will fall into that bottom 3. I think they lose this. QPR 2-0.
Reading a pony. They are bad. I don't think a lot of Reading fans would disagree with me saying that. I think they'll agree. They've looked awful all year. I mean, that Fulham result, it wasn't just the scoreline, it was how badly they played through the game as well. And I mean, that just epitomises their season for me. They threw away a win against us. They haven't really done anything the whole season. They've not won that many games either, I don't think they've won... I think maybe 6 games. I don't know. I've not got a table in front of me. It's not a lot anyway. They've only got 20-something points. I think they could easily get relegated this season if they're not careful. I think they'll lose this easily, 3-0.
3-0. Wow.
Yeah. QPR are class and Reading just are terrible. So it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's a almost going to be a steamrolling for QPR at this point.
Yeah, you'd fancy QPR there. Next up's Peterborough versus Sheffield United. Peterborough, another team that they really need to get a move on. They're playing Sheffield United. They've just drawn 2-2 at Birmingham. They were 2-0 up with 5 minutes to go. Goodness me. Sheffield United's improving, aren't they? And Peterborough's only saving grace does seem to be their home form's okay, but we saw last time against Coventry they got battered 4-1. So I'm going to edge Sheffield United 2-1.
I really want to say I can see Peterborough winning this. I really want to. I want them to stay up. It'd be nice. It'd be good to have a change and see Peterborough actually survive for once, because they never do. But they are quite bad, aren't they? They are quite bad. I mean, they absolutely bottled that 2-0 lead with 10 minutes to go against Birmingham the other night. We played them off the park completely when we beat them 4-1. They don't look great. I think Sheffield United will go there and enjoy themselves, and they'll get a comfy 2-0.
2-0, yeah. I think most people will back the Blades in that one. We'll move on to Sunday's games. We've got Midlands Derby County versus Birmingham City. Birmingham picked up 4 in their last 2, but they've played Barnsley and Peterborough, so did we expect them to? Derby County, obviously, they lost to Forest last time, but they're still, overall, big picture, they're getting a move on while the other teams aren't. So if Derby County can pick something up here and the other teams in the bottom 3 lose, then it's a big, big weekend. I think I might just edge them. Birmingham might try and be stubborn, but you've got to fancy Derby. 1-0.
The problem with Birmingham is I can't really see where a lot of their goals come from. Yeah, okay, they scored 2 the other night, but they're not a high-scoring team, generally. That's why they're where they are. It's not a case of, just awful defence being worse than the attack. It's just all across the park. They don't seem to be that great at the minute. I know they're injury hit. I don't know how bad that crisis is at the minute. I can't see them winning this game. I don't know if Derby will win it. I think it might end up being 1-1. I was half tempted to go Desmond there. Okay. Yeah, Desmond. 2-2. Yeah, okay. 2-2.
2-2, interesting. The last game is Cardiff versus Forest. Interestingly, we watched the reverse fixture earlier on in the season, and that's when Cardiff were doing okay and Forest were doing dreadful. It's now the other way round. You've got to fancy Forest to win this.
That's back in the days of Chris Hughton.
That's it, yeah.
That's a long time ago now, it feels like.
It's changed a lot. Cardiff won that time. I think Forest win this time. 3-0.
They've both sacked their managers since then, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
Yeah, this could be a completely different proposition. What did you go for?
3-0.
To
Forest.
Yeah, I agree. Cardiff are just pretty bad. It's as simple as that. So some of these teams, you overanalyse it, but ultimately they're just not very good at football. And Cardiff aren't at the minute. Yeah. And Forest look incredible. They're in such good form. They've really rose like flour in this. They've gone straight up from the bottom to the top. It's not out of the question to get top 2 if they can keep this form up, really. It will depend on how Blackburn do, obviously, but if they keep winning games, it's not out of the question. Yeah, I can't see this game being a problem for Forest at all, unfortunately, for Cardiff.
Yeah, team to keep your eye on, Nottingham Forest. That wraps up our predictions, guys. Let us know what you think down below. Make sure to smash a like, do subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.